Have you ever asked the question, why did I have to go through that? I asked that question, I lost count in my life. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Peas of Life. I'm TP Laurence. We are here in beautiful San Diego, California. The weather is beautiful, feels like 80 degrees, real tropical atmosphere. Let me give you a pan of this beautiful area. I'm here with the family at a beautiful resort. Oh yeah, we love this city. And we'll be back here more often as the Lord permits. But so we're here to talk about the P's of life, such as purpose, perspective, principles from a godly point of view. Okay, we hope and pray that you will hear something that will help make you and your life a little bit better if you apply it. Today's topic, I want to talk about how TPL got started, the P's of life. Have you ever asked the question, why did I have to go through that? I asked that question, I lost count in my life. It's like any kind of inspiration that I get, anything that I've received that has been a blessing to others, any kind of insight, wisdom, I had to pay for it, through things I've gone through as a man. But I'm okay with it because I'm better because of it. So this is one of those situations where my wife and I, we had a difference of opinion a few years ago, an argument, you want to say, and it got a little heated. But afterwards, I went and took a shower, and I was just thinking, life is a bunch of problems. It's just one problem after another. And I was really in my feelings. I was feeling I didn't see nothing else but problems, and I was going through a lot, relationship-wise, financial-wise. So life just, had a lot of issues going on. And I'm sure I ain't the only one who asked that question. But then a clear thought hit me, and it was, like clear as day, like a light bulb went on, and it was like I kind of felt I heard a voice that said, no, it's not. Life is not just one problem after another, because you do get to enjoy some pleasures as well. And it was a sobering thought. It was a sobering feeling, and it just like stopped me right in my tracks when the thought hit me. And I had to be honest with myself and say, you know what? That's true. I do get to enjoy some pleasures as well. And that kind of sparked the thought that, okay, well, life is not just a bunch of problems, one problem after another, but it's also pleasures as well. So I thought of a life metaphor at that point. A life metaphor hit me. And I thought about, okay, well, if that is the case, well, maybe it's like receiving let's say $100 bill. Someone give you $100 bill. There's two sides to that $100 bill, heads and tails, of course, or a coin, heads and tails. The coin is valuable, the bill is valuable, but you got two sides to it. And to me, life is that way. You got two sides to it. You got heads, you got tails. So on the tail side of life, you got problems. Problems to me equals things that's going to produce pain or pressure. Pain or pressure, that is the problems of life. Whether it's financial, health, relationships, if it's producing pain and pressure, it's a problem that we all need to face. And the other side of that bill and coin is pleasures. What are pleasures? Pleasures are things that I would say it brings plenty of whatever it is that you like. plenty. So whatever you could think of that you will enjoy in this life, that you can't see yourself living without, plenty of that. And the other thing I would say is peace. You know, peace is something that you can't put a price on it. You know, peace in your relationships. You know, peace in your health. You know, you're whole, there's nothing wrong. You know, and peace in your finances, your possessions, you know, your resources. So to me, that's pleasure. That's what pleasure is to me. That's how it hit me. And then a thought hit me again that, okay, all these things they all started with a P. And I didn't plan that. It came to me with the theme of a P. So and then I thought about, okay, well, this must be the P's of life. And that's how the P's of life got started. Just a simple thought, progressive thought, profound to me, profound thoughts. You know, it changed me. It changed my perspective on life, changed my perspective on people, myself, and everything around me. So the thought of the P theme, it just kept going. This inspiration just kept flowing. And it flowed for, I don't know how long, months, maybe a few years, but you know, as I thought on it, new things would come to me. And then I thought of this, that life is, as we go through life has this, it's like a roller coaster. See if I can get the camera right. It has its ups, which is like peaks, has its downs, I call them pits, then it has its plateaus. Peaks, pits, plateaus. Peaks, pits, plateaus. And there's degrees of peak, pits, and plateaus. And then I thought, well, okay, yeah, life is that way. Like a roller coaster, you know, you're up, you're down. And sometimes you're up and you're down in the course of a day. You know, in one day, you in the peak, pits, or the plateaus in one day. And then I thought, okay, well, that reminds me of a heart monitor. You know, you see the little doop, 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 doop. You know, and so I said, okay, well, maybe the peaks and the pits and plateaus is just a sign that I'm living. That's all it is. It's just life. And we all go through it. Life don't discriminate. You know, doesn't matter male, female, young, old, white, black, anything in between. We all go through the peaks, pits, and plateaus of life. It's just a sign that you're living. So I started to look at life again, completely different. You know, that these things are not just, you know, what I'm going through. Every human being that walks this planet, walks this earth, is going through the P's of life. The peaks, the pits, the plateaus. So, you know, I thought on that for a little while. And the last inspiration I received on this topic was, okay, well, as we're going through the, you know, the pain, the pressures of life, problems of life, the peaks, pits, and plateaus, what's the meaning of it? You know, why? You know, why are we here? You know, the question that we all ask ourselves eventually, why are we all here? What's the meaning of life? And then a thought hit me, you know, that we need to focus, that as we go through these things, we should be focused on three things. And it deals with our inner person. You know, my kids are coming out, well, what's daddy doing? My baby's over there. But what it deals with the inner person. So what is the inner person? What is our inner being? It is our soul, it's our spirit, and it is our mind. So these three things deal with those three areas specifically. And the first one is principles. God's universal principles, things that apply to anybody if we just that'll work for anybody if we just apply them. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're a sinner or a saint, if you're a good person, bad person. You know, these are universal principles. So from the soul, we can choose. You know, soul is the person behind the wheel of the car of this body. It's my soul, it's my personality, it's my consciousness. So for my soul, I can choose to obey these universal principles or not, believe in them or not. Okay, and it doesn't matter what I think. You know, it's true whether I believe it or not, know it or not, like it or not. So principles. So focus on universal principles as we're going through the peaks, pits, and plateaus of life. The problems and the pleasures of life. Okay. So the second thing would be we will focus on, from our mind, focus on seeing things from a godly point of view, from a heavenly perspective, a biblical perspective. You know, and they say the mind is the battleground. So we got to be careful what we allow ourselves to meditate on, think on, you know, believe. So that'll be the third P there, and the second P, and the third P is something that deals with our spirit. It's our purpose. Our purpose. You know, why were we created? What is the meaning of our specific life? You know, I've come to learn that we all have a specific purpose in this life, and the challenge is just discovering what it is, you know, and allowing God to unfold it for us, and He will, because He's the one that created us, so He's the one that can tell us what our purpose is. Okay, to give our life fulfillment and meaning, and that's vital. You have to have purpose in life. So that's what hit me. Those three things, you know, purpose, perspective, and principles, God's principles. And back to purpose for a minute. You know, you kind of, purpose, one of those things. It's like a natural inclination. It's a spiritual thing. Something we're drawn to do a certain thing. You know, we're good at a certain thing. We have a gift and a talent in a certain area. You know, something we would do for free. But if we can make money and make a living at it, that's great. But we will still do it for free. You know, that's a hint right there that might be your purpose. That might be what you was created to do. You know, what do you do that is a blessing to other people? That people feel like, man, you know, that benefited me. That benefits mankind. Man, you're good at that. You know, so that's purpose. That speaks to purpose. So those are the three things that hit me. And that's how we got started. So this is a real quick recap. Some wrap-up points here. We can't have and experience life without pain and pleasure. Number one. Number two, peaks, pits, and plateaus of life are just a sign that you are alive and living. And number three, as we go through this life, we need to focus on what matters most: God's principles, perspectives, and purpose for our lives. His purposes for our lives. So to answer the question, why do we have to go through all that, all this and all that? Well, the answer is pretty simple. To grow and become what God wants you and wants me to be, so that we can be a blessing to others. You know, that's why I went through what I went through. That I may gain wisdom and help somebody else. That I may be a benefit to someone else. That you may be a benefit to someone else. So, you know, our living is not in vain. It can be if we want to just ignore, you know, the Creator. Then we got to do things on our own. Okay, but it's not good. It's not good. We weren't made to be alone. We wasn't made to live this life on our own. Okay, this is the origin of the P's of life. And you know, as we do these videos, we'll get better at it. We'll get more polished. But I wanted to start with the origin of it, how it all began, and give you a little something, give you a little nugget. And I hope you gain a little something from it. Okay. So, if you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to be alerted when these new videos come out, hit the subscribe button. Okay? So I want to thank you all for spending some time with me. We hope you gained something valuable and that you will come see us again. And remember, peaks, pits, and plateaus are just a sign of life. But God's principles, perspectives, and purposes gives our life meaning and significance. We love and appreciate you. God bless you.